Hey y'all, thank y'all for being a part of memberships. Today we're going to be talking about why your parts are so wide. That is one of the biggest questions I get asked and inboxed. Why does this happen? So today we're going to talk about the preventative measures, how you can stop that from happening, how you can see if it's going to happen if you're going to be getting your hair done by someone so that you don't have that problem. Now I will say I do have a video out for public view that shows you how to fix that. If you're already in that predicament and you've went to get your hair done or you've done your hair for the first time and your part is huge, there's a video out right now with that thumbnail that shows you how you can possibly fix that so that you won't have to take your entire install down. But this video we're going to talk about how to do your braiding pattern, the signs you're going to see if somebody else is doing your braiding pattern to know that your parts are going to be too big, so you can stop them and say, hey, I'm gonna need you to fix that. Or you can take it down and start again before actually installing your hair. So let's just jump right into that video. So here on the mannequin, you're going to see 5 different braids. Now the 2 right here, you see how far apart they are, okay? And then the other 3 over here, you'll see how they're spaced a little closer together. There's all reasons for that. Now, things to disregard in this video. This mannequin, I was doing several videos over, like back to back. So there are, parts to it, rubber bands in places and all of that, that has nothing to do with the parting, okay? So you can disregard that rubber band there. You can disregard that, it's not all the way done. Don't worry about any of that. We're going to pretend that these braids are, all the way down. They're braided all the way back, and this is your braiding pattern, okay? So use your imagination and we'll keep going. So these messy cornrows that I have up here, and keep in mind I have been using them back and forth, and I also didn't really take my time to make them too neat, but as it's just for demonstration, so be a little gentle on you, girl. Anyway, the 5 braids that I have in her head, you can see that they are spaced all differently, ranging from 1 to 5, 1 being the widest, 5 being the smallest or the closest. And if you go to the section between 4 and 5, you will see that it's really tight. And the only time that I would actually use a parting that close is if I am working with a client who has maybe thinning hair, or just have a low density hair, or if they have a pattern like a straight hair that they're installing, or a light wave pattern, something like that. But anything that's super curly, anything that's super kinky, has a lot of texture, I don't think that one would work the best, just because you're not going to be able to see the part at all. Now, if that's what you're going for, then by all means. But in my opinion, when using those thicker hairs, thicker curl patterns, people with thicker hair themselves, you can't see the part at all. And I want to be able to peek at the part. I don't want it, to be like, you parting to see, but I do think it should be, visible. And the part right there between 4 and 5, when you install hair, is barely going to be visible. Now, let's break for a minute and talk about the base of the braid. I want to be sure that you understand what I'm talking about when I refer to the base of the braid and when I'm talking about the actual braid. So the arrow is pointing right now to the base of the braid. That is the hair that is coming out of your scalp and is coming together to form the actual braid. The base of the braid is extremely important when it comes to how the parting in your install is going to turn out. So I just want to be sure and be clear that you guys understand exactly what I'm talking about. So these are examples of what the base is, and this is an example of what the braid is. So when I refer to these things in the video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, moving on, you will see that the parts between 3 and 4, they have a little bit of base on it, right? You see that tad bit of base. And that, to me, is the perfect parting that you're going to want for most installs. Whether it's deep curls, water waves, or Kima ocean wave, I feel like if you do straight hair, you want to go with, you know, the part between 4 and 5 where there's barely any base. Those seem to work better. But like I said, part 4 and 3, that is the perfect part for anything else. Whether it's kinky, deep wave, water wave, ocean wave, whatever it is, that's going to be the best one. That one has just a little bit of base that you can see. Now, where the problem starts at is when you start to see braids like 2 and 1. Those with those huge bases on them. That is what determines how big your parting is going to be there. It's going to be huge because you have to think about it for a second. When you're installing hair, right? You're installing it around the braid itself, not the base. You're using the base to put the needle through, right? But you're essentially wrapping the crochet hair around your braid. So while the hair is wrapped around your braid, you're left with all of that base. You're left with the base from one braid, the part, and the base from the next braid. All of that is probably about maybe 2 to 3 finger widths apart. That's way too much space. You never want to see bases that big. If you see someone and you know, like you go to get your hair cornrowed, right? Say you use the same person to cornrow your hair that cornrows it for you to put a wig on. And you go to them to say, oh, you know what, I want some crochet. Can you do cornrows? And they put those same cornrows in your hair. That's probably what they're going to do. They're going to install cornrows. It's going to look like braid 1 and 2. Because that's naturally what anybody wants, you know, as far as laying down, you know, wigs and stuff like that. But that is not what you want for crochet hair. It makes a huge difference. I'm going to, I think later in the video, show you how you wrap around the hair and how far apart it's going to be. But if you see your braider start to braid and that base is like that, if it's that visible, stop them immediately. Stop them immediately and let them know, hey, I need for it to be about half of that. Really, you only want to be able to put your pinky finger in between those braids. At the end of the day, that's about the spacing you're going to need in order for the parting to look decent. That's a general rule. So if you need help, you know, like thinking about how to install them yourself, how far apart you want them, you know, put 2 up there and see if your pinky fits snugly in between those 2 braids, and then that should be, you know, better. Now if it is really loose, you know, if it's a little loose, you know, it's okay, but know that the less it's fitting on your pinky, the bigger your part is going to be. So if that helps you judge, use that method. Now the hair I'm going to be using is by Afri Natural. It's called Motion Bounce Wave in 18 inch. Just thought I'd throw that out there just in case you guys wanted to know. And I do have a video on that hair, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. Now here I'm going to be installing 2 strands just to show you, so you get a general idea of how big the parting would actually be. if we use this pattern all the way through the install. Just so you get a general idea, and you can see that when you install hair, how it's wrapped around the braid and not the actual base of the hair. So let's get into that. And the knotting method that I'm using is the double-sided knotless method. This isn't my knot. This knot is done by a woman. I want to say her name is Putate. I never knew how to pronounce it. I'm sorry, girl. But I'll make sure to put her links in the description box as well. And then she's linked on a lot of my other videos. I absolutely love that knot. I use it all the time. But you see how the hair is wrapped around the actual braid and it's not in the base. So I'm going to put one on the other side, and you guys can see, you know, like when you pull that, how far apart the hair actually is, and that part is huge. Now that's not the complete way on how you do that knot. It still had to be secured, but I'm not doing that for time's sake. But you see how far apart that is, and sometimes people, like, they try to bring the parts together by tying them together using some crochet hair. They try to do that right there, and as you see, like, that doesn't really help. I mean, it makes it smaller as far as short wise, but the wideness of the part is still there. So of course the best thing, you know, to prevent that is to prevent it, you know, by seeing how far apart your braids are. But if you're in a situation where you know, it's already installed, you know, it's too late and you need to be able to fix it without taking your hair down, I wouldn't suggest, you know, pinching. Like, that kind of pulls also at your scalp, pulls at your braids. It's going to loosen them prematurely. And like I said, I would go to the video that I was telling you about earlier and check that out. Try that to see if that gets you through, so you can at least get some wear out of your install. And also I want to say this, that not every braid on your head needs to be a pinky width apart. Okay, this is only rules when it comes to the parting in your hair, meaning the exposed parting, the part that everybody's going to see. Anything else you can camouflage, you can put the spacing however you want to. Now for me, if I know I'm going to be pulling my hair up in ponytails and buns and stuff like that, I like for my braids at the front, you know, and the sides to be even, like be the same size. So I usually do keep them about a pinky width apart, and then in the back, depending on what kind of styles I want to do, how versatile I want my hair to be, I generally just, you know, put it however, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really doesn't too much matter. At the end of the day, you can do braidless in the back. You know, you can have one braid and attach the hair on the base, you know, if you wanted to. But you know, if you don't mind that, then that's cool. But when it comes to the top and the part that you want everybody to see, that is what I'm talking about as far as spacing. If you want to be able to pull your hair up, then of course you want to keep even spacing throughout the top and the sides of your head. But if you're not worried about that, if you know that you're going to wear it in one style, you're going to have a left deep part or whatever middle part, then just make sure that that is spaced correctly. And then everything else you can kind of do how you want to, because the best thing about crochet hair is you make it your own. You know, all rules don't apply to all installs at the end of the day. So it just depends on how versatile you want your hair, how you want to be able to wear it, how much hair you want to install, you know, the density of your own hair, just things of that nature that's going to depend. But as far as the exposed parting, follow these steps and that should help you and prevent you from having that problem. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. I didn't show a demonstration on the best part to use because all of my installs, the parting is pretty much the same. So you can look at any of those and see the perfect parting that I was telling you about earlier in the video. But I did want to show you the problem parting so that you know what to look out for. So refer to any other video so that you can see how it turns out when you use the right frame. But anyway, if you have any other questions, drop it in the comment section. Please give this video a big thumbs up, and please be sure to tell people about memberships. There is more to come, and any requests, let me know, whether you inbox or drop it in the comment section. I love you guys so much. Thank you again for all of your support and being over here on memberships. I'll see you guys later. Bye.